1 minute until showtime. On RinG music. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, leave it in the ring.
And welcome back to another edition of Chronicles of the Ring. We revisit the interview that we did back in 2015, or 14, I'm sorry, with Andy Ruiz before he became the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. We had a chance to sit down and have an over-the-phone interview with him. What's up, G-Funk? Good morning, man. I had a chance to catch your show yesterday. Good show, bro. Good interview. And thanks for coming on here on Leaving the Ring early in the morning. Getting this in before I head out to work here. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's safe. Looks like slowly but surely the world is getting back together, reopening here and there. But doesn't mean that you should be Wild West out there, thinking that you're invincible, not wearing a mask or using hand sanitation. Just be aware and be careful. We're still not through the storm of the COVID-19 and stuff. But anyway, so we had a chance to do this interview, and pretty much everything that people were asking, right before Andy Ruiz stepped in with Anthony Joshua, which he created one of the biggest upsets in boxing in heavyweight, and even in the heavyweight. I think a lot of folks rated above Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas, but there was a lot of questions circling around him at the time before he was I don't know. Would you guys consider him a household name? I do now, because there's a lot of folks that are not big boxing fans and they know who he is now. He is the first Mexican heavyweight to grab titles and shock the world, as in the process of doing it, right? So let's check it out, and then we'll get back over here and we'll chop it up some more before I head out to work. Okay?
But I wonder this. And I asked you this question too. I was off the air right when I had told you that we're going to have him on here. But I asked anybody out there too that's tuning in and listening. And we're going to pay patching in some fight fans right now as well. But I ask you this: if the guy loses weight, think about this. If he loses weight, now he's not the very tallest heavyweight out there, but if he was to lose weight, and if you look at his body, in order for him to have more of a trim physique or boxer per se type of body, how many pounds do you think that he's got to shed there, Gabriel? What would be the amount of pounds that you think that would be more of a boxer physique where you say, okay, this guy is serious about boxing?
That's a good question, because we had talked before I saw the fight, and I was sitting there kind of watching the fight, going, I wonder, what it is, like 40. Is it 40 pounds? 267 down, like 227, Is he going to look good there? Is it 210, 215? I mean, he's got to deal with the big guys, so he's got to maintain some size. So I don't think he goes below, let's say, 225, 220. But even then, is he going to be body beautiful, or is he going to just look like kind of like a shorter Chris Arreola?
Right, exactly. So I wonder this is that in order to get this trim and to have a body where most folks are going like, okay, now he's serious about fighting. I told you this. Do you really think he's going to be a heavyweight? I don't think so. I don't even think if he's able to get to the cruiserweight division, his body's going to have that look of I'm serious in terms of being cut up. I'm eating properly. I look at this guy going, he might be another dude that should make a lightweight division body type, but at the same time, how good would he be at that weight with guys that are equally as fast and probably a bit stronger than him at a light heavyweight division, where with the massive fatness that he has, I'm sorry, Andy, I had to say that, but the mass, you look at the body weight there, you kind of think that, is there a strong possibility that he understands that he could probably be a lot quicker and more mobile than more of the bigger guys because, he doesn't really belong in the heavyweight division. But how good is his chin? I mean, well, I saw Saturday night. I got to tell you, he does take a shot pretty good. But was it really against a very serious and dangerous puncher like let's say in terms of like Stavern, Gabriel? Could he take a punch like that? I don't know.
Well, I think with Andy right now, a lot of it is just he's not operating at 100% with that body, and what I worry for him is that it's always going to be the story. He's got good skills for a fat guy, and I think he's got more than that to offer. I think, there's an explosiveness that can be brought out. I'm curious to get him on I want to talk about who's his trainer. What does he do? How does he approach his training? Because it's, you think about the heavyweights, they're kind of a different animal than everybody else. They don't have to worry about their weight. And so with that comes a certain responsibility to be like top shape. But what is that for that particular body type? It's a great question. And so I think, looking at Andy, like I'm very curious. Does he do any sort of explosive training, like sprint training? Does he, what's his running regimen like? That'd be the first thing. What's the nutrition like too? I mean, is he eating all organic food? Or is he, kind of just barely getting by? I mean, is he making good enough money to eat well? And people say, well, look at him, we know he's eating well. But there's a difference between eating a lot and eating well,
Right, definitely.
Is he a soda guy? Is he a beer guy? Like, where's his weight coming from, You don't just balloon up in weight for no reason. So, I'm not going to get all Dr. Oz on him or whatever, but, I'm very curious to see, what that all is about.
Absolutely. I'm very curious to kind of hear what he, his response to, because I'm pretty sure he's heard the criticism. He's had to have heard the criticism. And how does he respond back to that? How does it affect him? Obviously, it's not affecting him when he gets in the ring where it counts. Let me patch in our next guest, Andy Ruiz, the Destroyer. Are you here? Are you there with us, brother?
Yeah, I'm right here, brother.
How you doing, man? First off, hey, thanks for coming on Christmas Eve, bro. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure you're running around and trying to get to the family, or you're out there trying to get some last minute shopping done, man. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us here on the show.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm actually right here in Imperial Valley, right here with my family, and we're just right here celebrating Merry Christmas and all that.
Well, first off, congratulations on this past Saturday, your victory. I think that, you know what? Look, I think I think everybody can agree the boxing skills are obviously there, but I'm pretty sure, Andy, you've heard the criticism, right?
Yeah, of course, of the way that's always been the issue, and this fight was an experience, and and that's what me and my team we're gonna that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start cutting the weight and all that, and then start being more healthy.
So when I talk to fight fans, and especially that Saturday night, because we had the Al Heyman invitation, that was really boring. But it seemed like the majority of fans were really excited to see you get back in there, and there was fight fans that emailed and left me messages, and they were like, "Man, this guy's so talented." I mean, and there's nothing to take away from you on that. You got balance, you got combinations, you got fast hands. But I think the overall conversation always leads after they say, "Man, this guy's got fast hands, he's got talent." Is what's up with the weight? Why can't he lose the weight? So let me ask you this, bro, because I was talking to my co-host Gabriel Montoya. I'm pretty sure you know Gabriel Montoya. And I had to pose this question, so I'm going to pose it to you right now. If you were to shed the weight that media and fans perceive you to shed in order to have this trim physique boxer body, do you think that realistically you would be a heavyweight, or do you think that your body would have to trim down to either a cruiserweight or even a lightweight? What's your thoughts about that?
I'm not sure because I haven't hit that limit yet, but there's only one way to find out, and just to lose the weight and be stronger.
Hey Andy, it's Gabe Montoya. I remember watching you at the Wild Card, and I mean you were pretty big when you first came in. I remember you were boxing to lose weight, and
yeah,
you got more and more serious.
I was 340 pounds that time.
Wow.
I don't think people understand how far you've come.
Right.
Like, when they're like, dude needs to lose weight, it's like, dude, he's been losing weight for a long time. At this point, now that you're kind of like, developing as a prospect into a contender, hopefully, and then you're kind of now finding that ceiling. Is that really what this period is about now? Is just kind of finding out what your optimum fighting weight, what peak condition really is?
Yeah, well, I've been doing everything, running and all that, but I do need to cut down the weight because my last fight I was at 272, I believe, and then this time I came out at 267, and I'm going down. But for this last fight, I hurt my hand, and a lot of people know how I fight. I throw combinations, I'm aggressive and all that,
right.
but my hand was really bothering me, but I did the best I can with one hand and all that. But a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, well, it's because of his weight. That's why he didn't fucking throw punches or anything like that. But no, it was the hand. It was a good experience. It was tripped out.
So let me ask you this.
What round did you hurt your hand? What round?
Like in the third round, I believe. In the third, ever since they stopped throwing the right hands, that's when it hurt it. And then I was just using the jab, trying to throw the hook. But maybe that's why a lot of people are. Well, ever since I was young, everybody talked about the weight and all that.
Right.
But
so let me ask you this. How far off do you think people are? Because I mean, it's easy for somebody to go, "Oh, he's got to lose weight, he's got to do this." But how far off when they try to make Andy Ruiz as a comparison to Chris the Nightmare? Do you think that's really way off? Where in terms, Chris was more of a guy that just lacked motivation to train sometimes in the beginning when he got the stardom. Do you think they're way off in terms of comparing you to him?
Yeah, a little bit. We both have the same issue. They would talk shit about Chris Arella's weight and then my weight too. So it's we're kind of the same thing. But they just want to see me chiseled. That's what the people want. They want to see me chiseled and make the flabbiness solid. And I'm pretty sure that's what they want. But if I lose a lot of weight, I agree with that person that said I'll probably go down to cruiserweight maybe. But I just need to tighten up.
got to be frustrating, man. To tell you the truth, where you know what, I mean, let me ask you this: have you ever like got in the back of your mind and go like, okay, dude, I know that I got to lose the weight, but what about the skill level? I mean, shit, give me the compliment of the skill level. My skills are there. Why is nobody not focusing on that? Have you ever thought in that term?
Yeah, a lot of times actually, but that's what I was telling them. Look, I'm chubby and all that, but I'm knocking out guys. You know, I'm winning. I'm still beating people up. The chubbiness wasn't getting in the way so far, but there's people that hate, and there's people that show me love too.
So true.
Yes, I mean,
so true.
I think it's unfair to compare you to Chris Arreola because it's not like, I mean, the weight's an issue for you, but it's kind of, I mean, you've come down so far, 340. People can't even fathom that. And to get to the place where you're boxing 12 rounds and you manage your energy well, you didn't look sloppy to me, like huffing and puffing, like terrible. You know, it looked like, and with Chris would run off from training camps. He would just disappear for 3 or 4 weeks. I'm pretty sure that's not the problem with you. Do you think it's just a matter of you've gone so far in this one direction, losing weight, now it's just kind of time to shock your body, try some new type of exercises, different sprint training or whatever, start to mix it up and maybe just kind of get to another level that way? Have you hired somebody?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we had a physical trainer, but he left back to Spain, and he didn't help me out for this fight. But we are gonna bring him back, and we'll see after my hand heals, and hopefully for the next fight, I'm gonna give the people what they want.
I just wonder, like, you know, I mean, what is the ideal weight? And do you think that's going to be enough where people say, okay, he's at that limit? I mean, you know, I mean, if you're banging out guys and you're doing what you're supposed to do where it counts in the ring, don't you think that gradually wins over the fans, or are we so caught up with image that you have to look this way in order for you to really be a super threat in the minds of fans? I mean, I don't get that.
Yeah, that I agree too. I don't know what they think, man. I thought it would be more entertaining seeing a chubby guy beating up this very muscle guy, you know?
Right.
I think that would be more exciting.
I don't disagree. You know, I mean, it's you got skills, man. I mean, there's no doubt of that. And you throw combinations, which is kind of rare for heavyweights. You know, you kind of fight like a little man when you're a big man. But I think you're actually hung up on.
But for this last fight, I didn't really show my talent a lot at all. Actually, I didn't show any of that, and I'm kind of disappointed that I couldn't get the knockout or like I usually do. But it was really difficult trying to fight with one hand, and that's what stopped me stopping him, because I couldn't throw my combinations or throw my right hand, or it was kind of hard.
When you hurt your hand, what was the most that you had to do to overcome? Did it make you think more in the ring? How much of the game plan did it throw you off?
Well, I kind of had to switch up the game plan, because everything that my dad and my coach was telling me to do, I couldn't do. I was telling them that it hurt. The only thing I could kind of do is I couldn't even block a lot, because every time he'll block, he'll hit the glove, and my hand was throbbing. It was hurting, and I couldn't really block with it neither. And throwing the jabs, throwing the left hooks, and trying not to show the opponent that I'm hurt, because I didn't want him to know that I was hurt, and trying to go full throttle. So I kind of had to be smart with that too.
What's the schedule look for you in 2015? I mean, it looks like they're starting to move you, a bit closer in terms of testing you out and seeing, where you're going to go out in your career. What's the plan?
The plan hopefully the plan was that I was supposed to get a shot show for a world title, hopefully for December 15. But I need to go talk, and well, after Christmas and New Year's over, we're gonna talk and see where we're at.
Well, there you go. Andy Ruiz here on Leaving the Ring Radio, answering every question that we have, and he's answering it very honest, man. And I got to tell you, bro, I mean, definitely am a fan. I sit there and I got to tell I watch it and I go, man, this guy's got, there's no denying that he's got major skill stepping into that ring. I hope you're able to overcome these fans that are questioning you, and even the media that are kind of bagging on you about your weight issue, because I think if you overlook all that, you could see that there's a very polished fighter stepping into that ring and is taking care of business. Anyways, Merry Christmas, brother. I hope everything goes great, man. I can't wait to see what you're up to next year in 2015.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, and Merry Christmas to all you guys too, and we'll see what they give me for 2015. Hopefully it's something exciting, and I get to fight one of the top elite guys so I can prove myself and prove everyone else, and just to shut them up.
Let me ask you one last thing on your way out. Looking at the next year, who wins, Severn or Wilder?
I think Severn has a good chance to win if he just fucking stays low and throws when Wilder throws. So because he has like a longer reach, and I kind of think Severn could take it if he does it good.
I love the fact. I gotta tell you this. I love the fact that Andy Ruiz has the regular Chicano. First word to start off his sentence is fucking. That's how you know he's Mexican American. Fucking. Hey.
No, it's good. Cable radio.
It's like, hey, you hungry? Fucking, I'm hungry. Hey, it's hey, you hungry? Hey, fucking, I'm hungry, bro. Let's do it right now. Órale, brother. Hey, thanks again, man, for coming on, bro. Have a great Christmas with la familia, and I can't wait till I get off the air, dude. I got pozole waiting for me, the whole works right now, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Well, thanks, dude, and whenever you guys want me to get in here, and then I'll talk and all that and see what's happening.
Hey, well, fucking, we will, bro. Órale, all right? Take care, man. Take care, bro.
All right, thanks, bro.
Just make sure that pozole is organic, all right?
Organic, right.
Organic
pozole. Here, the Destroyer, here on Leaving the Ring Radio.
Man, pozole sounds pretty good right about now, man. I don't know about you guys. Hey, G-Funk, Joe Lopez, everybody that's joining us here on Leaving the Ring. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview that we did back in 2014 in December, before the entering of 2015 with Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. Fuck it, let's eat. No shit, man. Man, you know... So there's reports, right? I don't know how you guys feel about Andy Ruiz going over with Saul Canelo Alvarez's trainer, Reynoso. Obviously, Reynoso's done a great job with Canelo, but it's been throughout the years with Canelo being with him, with that team. And then you have now with Ryan Garcia. You've seen some improvement with Ryan Garcia. The only thing I haven't seen from Ryan Garcia is the step up in class of opponents, which... I was hoping we were going to get this year with Jorge Linares, but Mr. COVID-19 had a different plan for boxing and put everybody on hold, right? So, what are my thoughts about Reynoso and Andy Ruiz? Well, here's the thing: is Andy Ruiz has been around the mill in the boxing circuit. It's not like he hasn't visited every gym in LA or Southern California and hasn't trained with every trainer available out there with him. So it's not the case, what can Reynoso, add to Andy Ruiz? It's the case of, does Andy Ruiz finally shake off whatever non-motivational thing that's going through his mind? Because it's more of a mental state for him, where he can't seem to get up. He works really, really hard, and then once he hits that little pinnacle, it's like it plateaus. It's done. He doesn't go any further from that, So this is really a case of Andy Ruiz defeating the demons that he has, which is getting up and training hard, listening to his team, following what his team are saying, and really just kind of surrendering himself to whatever agenda or plans that his team's going to have for him. That's something that he struggled with. You know, he was with Top Rank. Top Rank that was one of the major complaint about from Top Rank was that he just couldn't didn't train. He wouldn't train. And he'd bloom up, and then it was back to just losing weight. And there's no denying that Andy Ruiz has got some major skills. And if right in the head and trained correctly and at the right weight, Andy Ruiz is a force to be reckoned with in the heavyweight division. So again, Reynoso could be great for him, but none of that matters. None of that really matters if Andy Ruiz doesn't take this serious and get back into the ring and do it where it counts. I was watching earlier a clip on the news over there in Imperial, where he's from, and one of the reporters was saying, like, Andy is the epitome of what represents that town, which is hard work and dedication. And I'm like, wow, how ironic, right? Because for the rematch with Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia, he there was nothing there. Like, he had no footwork. He's always going to have fast hands, but you could really see that he was not even in the fight. And then immediately after that fight, he blurted out, "I didn't train for this." And I think and that's been the major problem for Andy Ruiz. And you imagine, like I said, that reporter that was covering the parade when he came back from defeating Anthony Joshua from New York, from the Big Apple, saying those words now, and then probably looking at that fight, everybody excited in that town, and going like, where's the motivation and dedication that our town represents? So that's what Andy needs that on his back, I believe. I think now, before, there was so many doubts that I think it affected him, but now that he sees that how many people are on his back, how many people depend on him to represent not just his whole town, but a whole culture of people, Mexicans, and of what we bring, of what we represent, of who we are, and that has to weigh on him. Oops, sorry, my bad, man. That has to weigh on him pretty heavy, because not only is he fighting for himself, now he's fighting for a group of people that are rooting for him. So it's really important for Andy Ruiz to get back in there and be motivated. And whatever trainer decides to help him out, into getting him prepared to get to his next step and who he's going to face, it's all going to be on Andy Ruiz. Does he train? Is he motivated? And not just once. It can't just be one time, right? It has to be numerous times. It has to be all the time for the remainder of his whole career. Until he retires, he's got to bring that motivation. The sad part is that guys that just are just ultimately just talented, right? That don't have to do so much because they're just so gifted at it that there's always a lazy factor with them, right? And then when it finally, it's kind of like the limelight's off of them, and they're just a before factor. It's always been weird when it finally kicks in, when they recognize that nobody talks about them, nobody cares to see them anymore, and it's like it's like jumpstart. They're like, no, I'm still here, but the skills have eroded. They're not even the same anymore. I'm hoping that doesn't happen to Andy Ruiz. I'm hoping right now, while he's still young and he still has those skills and people are still talking about him, that this is a wake-up call of what happened in the rematch with Anthony Joshua. And you know what? He's saying that he wants that third match. I don't see it happening. I see he's going to have to face somebody else and then kind of prove, not just to promoters or convince the promoter that he's completely back, but really the fans now that have lost belief in him, and who he disappointed. Let's be honest here. He disappointed a lot of people, especially Raza. That's the one thing you don't want to disappoint Mexicanos. Mexican Americans, people from Mexico, you don't want to disappoint us because we hold our fighters to such a high standard. It's such a high standard. You know what I mean? And when you show no effort, you're really showing no effort to your people, and that's like a no-no. That's like a big no-no to us, and not just to us, to the fight fans from all around the world. I mean, he captured, not just the Mexican people, but Puerto Ricans and blacks and whites. I mean, the UK. I mean, he captured everybody. Everybody was rooting for him. Everybody was except for the AJ fans, right? They were like pissed, dude. They were coming up with this crazy ass conspiracy theories, that AJ's twin was in the ring. But if you've watched Andy, you knew that Andy had some real true boxing skills, man. And that night he brought everything with him. And it was a very emotional win, not just for him and his team, but it was an emotional win for all of us. So want to see Andy, I want to see Andy get back in there and do it where it counts. Anyways, I'm your host, Dave Duenas. I got to get back. I got to get to work and everything. Everybody stay safe, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Chronicle of the Rings Before They Were Stars. Definitely going to be putting more interviews on. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and hit that notification bell so that you're notified when we go live here on Leaving the Ring. If you haven't had a chance, go to the beer boxing and quarantine, where we put up some classic fights, and you get to listen to us chop it up and drink some brewskis while we're at it, watching some classic fights. Anyways, man, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.